Ladies and gentlemen, honored guests, respected scholars, researchers, educators, industry partners, academic leaders, and delegates from across the globe. A pleasant day to everyone. Welcome to the 7th International Conference on Multidisciplinary Industry and Academic Research 2026, proudly organized by the Institute of Industry and Academic Research Incorporated in collaboration with Dr. Carlos S. Lantin College. I am Dr. Mary Jane S. Carandang from CSTC, College of Sciences, Technology, and Communications Incorporated, Philippines, and I am honored to be your Master of Ceremonies for today's event. Today, we transcend geographical boundaries and come together in a dynamic global forum where ideas converge, knowledge is advanced, and innovation takes shape. More than a gathering of researchers and professionals, this conference affirms the vital role of research as a catalyst for progress, empowering us to address complex challenges, generate evidence based solutions, and create a meaningful impact across communities and nations. In a world marked by rapid transformation and increasing interconnectedness, the need for this kind of rigorous scholarship and collaborative inquiry has never been greater. We are truly privileged to gather once again to share valuable insights and groundbreaking research that contribute meaningfully to both academia and the industry. Even more, we are graced by the presence of three distinguished keynote speakers from Nigeria, Indonesia, and New Zealand who will enrich us with their perspectives on artificial intelligence, law and ethics, and research collaboration. As we begin this conference, we celebrate not only dissemination of new insights and discoveries, but also collectively pursuit of excellence, innovation, and international cooperation. We hope that today's session will inspire you and equip you with insights worth sharing with your peers and community. To formally commence this international conference, let us seek divine wisdom and guidance, and may we respectfully invite everyone to join us in a moment of prayer. With hearts and minds now united through prayer, we move forward inspired by a shared commitment to knowledge, innovation, and service to humanity. As we embark on today's academic journey, we first acknowledge the institution whose vision, dedication, and unwavering pursuit of research excellence have made this gathering possible. The conference we celebrate today did not emerge overnight. As they say, every successful conference has a story of passion, collaboration, and steadfast belief in the transformative power of research, a journey that reflects growth, resilience, and an enduring dedication to academic excellence. 6 years ago, a vision took place, one grounded in the belief that research, innovation, and collaboration can drive meaningful progress across discipline and communities. What began as a modest has evolved into a dynamic institution committed to advancing knowledge, fostering academic excellence, and creating opportunities for global engagement. The journey has been marked by both challenges and achievements, each contributing to the growth and strengthening of this organization. Today, the Institute of Industry and Academic Research Incorporated, IARI, stands as a recognized platform for scholarly exchange, professional development, and community impact, built upon the collective efforts, trust, and dedication of its partners in research, educators, and stakeholders. In a relative short period, IARI has established significant contributions in research, education, training, extension services, reaching diverse audiences across local and international contexts. And as our network continues to expand, our collaborations grow stronger. We remain committed to pushing the boundaries of knowledge and fostering innovative solutions to these contemporary global challenges. With deep appreciation for the individuals whose leadership and dedication have made this accomplishment possible, we are honored to introduce the distinguished team behind the ERE and this international conference on multidisciplinary industry and academic research through an audiovisual presentation. I guess everybody would agree that the video speaks for itself. However, these accomplishments represent only a glimpse of IARI's continuing journey of growth, innovation, and impact. As we move forward, we remain steadfast in our commitment to advancing research, fostering meaningful collaborations, and creating opportunities that empower scholars, educators, and professionals around the world. We invite you to stay connected with us through our official website and Facebook page to receive updates of upcoming conferences, publications, training programs, and international initiatives. Join us as we continue to build a vibrant global community dedicated to knowledge creation and transformative research. At this point in our program, let us hear the welcome remarks from a respected academic leader whose contributions have greatly advanced scholarly engagement, research collaboration, and professional development. Distinguished guests and esteemed researchers, colleagues, and participants from around the globe, please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Curry Justin P. Estrellado of Tayabas Western Academy, Philippines.
All right. Hello, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes po.
All right. So, warm welcome to everyone. On behalf of the 7th ICMIAR committee, I'm deeply honored to stand on the shoulders of giants today. And of course, Uh, first, I special thank you to our ERE president, Dr. Rod Velasco, the entire leadership team, and the Dr. Carlos Eslantin College for making this gathering possible. Our theme, sustaining international research collaboration in the age of AI and digitalization. Now, every time I ask with scholars, one nagging question remains: what does it actually mean to digest scientific research? Well, science isn't static. It throws curveballs. It demands a constant rabbit hole of reconceptualization. So we are all chasing that, aha moment, uh, a true understanding of the world with the fewest unnecessary assumptions. But research isn't a trophy to gather dust on a shelf. It needs real world impact. It must bridge the gap between theory and utility. Now, today, I won't just leave you with inspiring words, I'll leave you with challenges. Now, we talk about AI and digitalization, driving collaboration itself. Now, but let's be critical here. Integrating AI cannot be a blind leap. Is AI actually democratizing research or just automating our biases? Now, if we outsource, our aha moments to algorithms, do we lose the human soul of science? And lastly, can international collaboration even survive if we strip the human element? Now, our conference is an artifact of scholarship, proof of what happens when industry and academia collide. So let's keep the momentum going and, let's keep the research wheels turning. Welcome aboard. And of course, thank you. And once again, a pleasant day.
Thank you very much, Doc CJ, for that very inspiring and thought provoking message. As you've said, we have to digest the science research, and from AI go to MI to have our aha moments as researchers of this global community. Your words have reminded us that the vital role of research, collaboration, and innovation play in addressing the challenges of our rapidly changing world. And more importantly, your message has set the tone for this gathering, a celebration of knowledge, discovery, and shared commitment to academic excellence. Once again, thank you, Dr. Estrellado, for your warm welcome and for your steadfast leadership in advancing research and academic engagement. And now, we move forward to another significant moment in our program. No conference is truly complete without hearing from the visionary leader who helps shape its direction and inspires its pursuit of excellence. This gathering is a result of countless hours of dedication, collaboration, and commitment to creating a meaningful platform for scholarly exchange and innovation. It is therefore my honor to introduce the heart of our conference team, the conference chair of the International Conference of Multidisciplinary Industry and Academic Research 2026, a respected academic and research advocate whose leadership continues to strengthen international partnerships and advance global engagement in research. Joining us from the University of South Africa, our conference chair has been instrumental in fostering this academic collaboration and to transcend geographical and cultural boundaries for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming our conference chair, Mr. Patrick A. Nyati, as he delivers his inspirational message.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Mary Jane. Thank you. Thank you. Good day, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are joining us in the globe. My name is Patrick Nyati from the University of South Africa. This site is still in the very hours of the morning. I wish to say the following. It is with great honor and profound humility that I extend my warmest greeting to all delegates, to all researchers, to all academics and practitioners who are participating in our 7th International Conference on Multidisciplinary Industry and Academic Research 2026. My deepest gratitude also goes to the board of directors and the entire leadership of IARI. The theme of this conference, Sustaining International Research Collaboration in the Age of Artificial Intelligence and Digitalization, could not be more timely or urgent. We stand at a critical intersection in the history of human knowledge production. The rapid advancement of artificial intelligence and digital technologies is reshaping how we conduct research, how we administer assessments, how we disseminate knowledge, and engage with one another across the globe and various research disciplines and spaces. As we celebrate and engage with the boundless opportunities that artificial intelligence and digitalization present to the global research community, we should also confront with intellectual honesty and institutional courage the deep challenges that accompany this digital revolution. We cannot deny that the rise of AI-generated content has cast a huge shadow over academic integrity, raising serious questions about authorship, about originality, and the very essence of scholarly contribution. Plagiarism has assumed new and sophisticated forms that challenge the adequacy of existing detection mechanisms, while the case of information generation risks cultivating a culture of intellectual passivity among students and researchers alike. Furthermore, the uncritical adoption of AI tools threatens to deepen existing inequalities between the global north and the global south, as well as between well-resourced institutions and those operating on the margins. This is because access to advanced technologies remains profoundly unequal. It is therefore incumbent upon us as researchers, as academics, as educators, in particular, to approach this digital revolution not as passive recipients of technological change, but as critical, reflective, and ethically grounded practitioners who interrogate AI's assumptions, questions its output, and insist on preserving the rigor, authenticity, and humanity that have always been the hallmark of genuine scholarship. As scholars, as a scholar whose work cuts across environmental and rural history in South Africa, the history of education, social justice, and the preservation of indigenous knowledge systems, I have long been convinced that meaningful research transcends institutional and geographic boundaries. The richness of multidisciplinary research lies precisely in its capacity to draw from diverse traditions, methodologies, and lived experiences, therefore weaving together perspectives that no single discipline will alone generate. It is in this spirit that this conference holds a particular significance. The conference creates a vital space where voices from education, from business, from social sciences, from science and technology, engineering, and mathematics converge. This convergence does not diminish the distinctiveness of each discipline. It instead amplifies the collective capacity of scholarship to address the complex challenges of our time. I wish to encourage all participants to engage with the spirit of genuine intellectual openness, to listen as much as to present, to question as much as to affirm, and to forge the collaborative relationships that will sustain research beyond these proceedings. I'm deeply grateful to the IARI for this distinguished honor, and I look forward to the rich scholarly engagement. I wish to welcome everyone, and I wish everyone a successful and a prosperous conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nyati. First, for acknowledging the significance of this research activity. And as you've said, we are actually an agent of reshaping the research. Although we may come from north and south, we are converged together to promote this global research that contains academic integrity and remains originality in the heart and mind of our researchers wherever we are in the globe. Thank you very much for your inspiring and insightful message. Thank you for your leadership, your commitment to advancing global research partnerships, and your unwavering support to the international academic community. So once again, thank you for sharing your wisdom and vision with us today. So ladies and gentlemen, let us continue this remarkable journey of learning, discovery, and collaboration as we proceed to the next part of our program. Today's conference is thoughtfully structured into 5 major segments, each designed to foster meaningful learning, scholarly exchange, and academic collaboration. Happening right now is our opening program, where we formally welcome our distinguished guests, presenters, researchers, and delegates across the globe. This will be followed by the plenary session featuring our esteemed keynote speakers, renowned experts, and thought leaders who will share their insights on contemporary issues, emerging trends, and innovations shaping the future of research and practice. The third segment is the plenary research presentations, showcasing 4 outstanding research papers selected for their scholarly merit, relevance, and potential contribution to their respective fields. We will then proceed to parallel research sessions, where 22 research papers will be presented across 4 thematic tracks, namely education and development studies, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, business management and accounting, and humanities and social science. Finally, we will conclude with the awarding and closing program where we recognize exemplary research contributions, celebrate scholarly achievements, and reflect on the insights and collaborations gained throughout this conference. Indeed, today's program promises a rich and engaging journey of discovery, dialogue, and knowledge sharing as we come together in the spirit of advancing research and fostering global academic partnerships. So, from this juncture, I think we are all ready for our plenary session. So before we introduce our distinguished speaker, may I kindly request that participants reserve their questions for the opening forum following the presentations. And you are welcome to submit your questions through the chat box at any time during the session. Our moderators will consolidate and relay selected questions during the discussion proper. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, an accomplished scholar, researcher, educator, and advocate for intercultural understanding, whose work continues to make significant contributions to the global academic community. She is a distinguished scholar in the fields of communication, intercultural studies, and higher education. She currently serves as the sub-doctoral research coordinator at the Faculty of Arts and Education of the University of Auckland and as a tutor at the School of Management and Marketing of Massey University in New Zealand. Her academic journey also includes service as a hub advisor at the University of Auckland, as well as teaching and academic appointments at Massey University Wellington and the Polytechnic University in Philippines, Bataan. She recently completed her Doctor of Philosophy in Communication and Journalism at Massey University, where her research examined intercultural communication and the lived experiences of Filipino migrants in New Zealand. Her work reflects a deep commitment to understanding cultural diversity, migration, identity, and communication in an increasingly interconnected world. Her scholarly excellence has been recognized through numerous international awards and competitive research grants, including the prestigious Phi Kappa Phi Graduate Research Grant, the Love of Learning Award, and several Best Paper and Best Presenter recognitions at international conferences. Her research has been published in respected international journals and spans a broad range of disciplines including intercultural communication, language education, digital media, educational technology, tourism, and smart cities. Beyond her impressive research portfolio, she has established herself as an influential contributor to the international research landscape through collaborations with scholars and institutions across Asia, Oceania, and other regions of the world. Her interdisciplinary work bridges communication, education, migration, and technology, creating meaningful pathways for research that addresses contemporary global challenges. She likewise serves as a reviewer, editorial board member, and a scientific committee member for numerous international journals and conferences, where she continues to champion research quality, scholarly integrity, academic mentorship, and international knowledge exchange. Today, we are privileged to learn from a scholar whose work exemplifies the transformative power of research in fostering intercultural understanding and global collaboration. Distinguished delegates, researchers, educators, and guests, please join me in extending a warm and enthusiastic welcome to our first keynote speaker, Dr. Lenis Aslin C. Separa.
Hi, everyone. It is my pleasure to serve as one of the keynote speakers of this year's International Conference on Multidisciplinary Industry and Academic Research at Hotel UITM Shalam, Malaysia. My name is Lenis Asin Tisapara. I'm currently Subdoctoral Research Coordinator at the University of Auckland, New Zealand, and a tutor at the School of Management and Marketing of Massey University, New Zealand. I would like to congratulate the Institute of Industry and Academic Research Incorporated through Dr. Rodrigo M. Velasco on this initiative of creating research presentation and academic engagement opportunities for both faculty and students. And today, I am tasked to share some helpful tips on how to create our own paths in establishing research partnerships with other scholars. So what I'm going to share is basically based on my personal journey as an academic. So I hope at the end of the session, you'd be able to pick up something important that you can, live by when you're trying to figure out or navigate your research career in your respective fields. So for the last 10 years, I have been on and off in engaging with collaborative research works because of the nature of the work that I have been handling for the last 10 years. So there are times that I have been teaching full time, and we know that it's really, getting a lot of our time when we are doing teaching as, our major line of work. And then there are times that I have been handling some office work or administrative roles. And during this time, I don't have much time in doing research. But eventually, I come across with a role that I became a faculty researcher or a research coordinator. So when I had this role, then something had ignited again within me to continue on with the task of doing research. So I had this, you can see the screen, these people that I have as my co-authors. So I have established friendships with them and academic ties, with every research endeavor that I would pursue in this, for the last 10 years. So each opportunity of working with them has a story that is deeply connected with the different stages of my journey, that is towards developing myself as a researcher. So to date, I have co-authored with other researchers from the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, China, US, Estonia, and New Zealand. So these collaborations did happen overnight. So some of these collaborations I can say are intentional, but others are incidental. So, but whether we are a budding researcher or we are an experienced one, it would be worthwhile to prepare ourselves for any advancement that we can engage with in our research journey. So here are the 10 points that I would like you to consider, which I also consider as the most important things in maximizing research-related opportunities that may come along our way. First, I believe that you need to be reflective on your strengths as a researcher. So it's okay that you don't know everything, and it's perfectly okay. So when assessing ourselves on our readiness to do research, we want to look through our values, our educational qualifications, of course, our work experience, and our plans for self-development. So what do we need to develop, or what do we want ourselves to be in 10 years from now in terms of research? And this connects to what we currently do best and how we could move forward in improving what we know. So we need to establish the most basic aspect of being a researcher, and that is your specialization. So this may not happen instantly or in a straight path. You can try co-writing short pieces with colleagues and eventually, find your own space and research. So whatever you feel that you're comfortable with in writing, just go on with that. Second, start with any research project that interests you. So together with exploring what you want, then try to focus in something that you think would be worthwhile. So this could be based on what you have studied on or what you think would be relatable to your line of work. So when I started my teaching career as a full-time instructor at the University of the Philippines, Bataan branch, I actually became interested with issues on the employability of graduates. And as we know, this is one of the measures of an effective tertiary education program. And that is the ability of the graduates to find employment and the ability of the tertiary education to provide the skill set needed among potential graduates. So thus we initiated this research project on the Freeport area of Bataan labor market survey. It all started with inviting colleagues on helping you out on a research project, and then you have to be clear with each other's role in the research. We then joined a poster presentation in 2013 and eventually published the article in 2014. So after those first attempts on experiencing research writing, presentation, and publication, I developed this inclination to writing more with other authors. So whether you are currently a student or a faculty member, you may eventually feel the need to commit to doing postgraduate studies. So I first enrolled to the Doctor of Communication program of the University of the Philippines Open University. In the qualitative research course that I've enrolled to, one of the requirements is actually writing a short qualitative research report. So it all started as a course requirement. And eventually, I decided to invite a classmate from UP Manila and a colleague from PUP to join me as co authors. Thus, the publication of the article Media and ICT during COVID 19 work from home arrangement is produced and it's now online. And then I shifted doing Doctor of Philosophy in Massey University, Wellington, New Zealand. And this is where I met my three lovely thesis supervisors. So as I was doing the thesis by publication, I published three research articles, with two of those having them as my co-authors. So you can see them in the middle part of the PowerPoint. Those are my supervisors. So aside of what I do from my dissertation, I also had the opportunity to meet other researchers, some visiting scholars who may not, not have the same research interests as mine, but I can feel that they would want to reach out to me because they recognize the potential of me helping them with their project. So at first, I don't have much confidence in doing collaborative research with them because I'm still a student. But the mere fact that they have reached out to you and ask if you could help them with their project, I think that is something that you must treasure. It is something that you should be confident about because they trust you. They see a potential in you. So if that's the case, or if you happen to experience that, you will just need to grab the opportunity to have a writing experience with them because they need to have an idea on how it is like working with you. And when this happens, you need to consciously show professionalism in the project. You have to learn how to respect timelines in deliverables, and you have to ensure that the work that you do for that particular project is at par with their expectations. Another way of expanding your reach as a researcher is joining postgraduate conferences. So when a colleague shared a call for participants in the Australian National University Philippines Institute in Canberra, I expressed my intention. And then I even applied for a travel grant in the same institution. So luckily, they've granted me a grant, and that took care of my airfare. So in this conference, we had a series of workshops on how our research interests fit the research thrust of the institute. So, and that includes how the evolving Philippines related issues could shape the direction of the institute. So I've met a lot of friends there, and even now, or until now, we're still in speaking terms. And it feels great that I can see each one of them finishing their PhD programs, and you can feel the connection because they're also Filipinos doing research, Philippines related research in Australia. So in attending conference like ICMIAR 2026, we also meet new friends, and which may later become our research collaborators. So we would know, right? We wouldn't know until we try to reach out to them. So please do not hesitate to reach out to other participants. Let them know that you appreciate their presentation and you find their presentation interesting. initiate a conversation with them, because we treat these kinds of conferences as a safe place for research learning. And through your research presentations, other researchers learn about your interests and specializations. And, after this conference in Canberra, I maintained my connection with the ANU Philippines Institute as one of its affiliates. And I think this is one step forward in making them know that in the future, I am open to engaging to research collaborations with them. So my journey as a researcher has not been really a straight pathway, as I've mentioned a while ago, because it's really hard to or to strike a balance between different functions as an academic. But what I did ensure is I continuously explore to join different groups that may give me different perspectives in research engagements. As researchers, we also need to expand our presence through joining research networks and organizations. So these groups can be multidisciplinary space for everyone who wants to join, or it can also be discipline specific, where you can meet other scholars engaging with research on a specific specialization. So some of these organizations are open to anybody who wants to join by paying membership fees, but other organizations, set certain criteria for potential applicants. There are also networks that researchers can join by invitation. So regardless of the nature of your membership in networks and organizations, if you join them, you will have more opportunities for different research engagements. So for example, when I joined IIRE and EdCore, I have been entrusted with a couple of speaking engagements for conferences and workshops. And when I joined the National Research Council of the Philippines, this has been my link to other social researchers in the Philippines. And then when I became interested in meeting other Filipino researchers here in New Zealand who are also inclined to doing Philippines related studies, I joined the Philippine Studies Network Aotearoa New Zealand. And as one of my research interests is intercultural communication and Filipino migrants, I joined the New Zealand Asian Studies Society. And, in your case, based on your current interest, you will surely find certain research organizations that can serve as your support group in advancing your research career. So attending research conferences, that's the sixth tip, it would make you more informed on the conversations around your research work. So you will be presenting with different conference tracks and themes like what you are doing at the moment, where other participants with similar interests can provide feedback on your work. So this part of any scholar's research growth, it is the ability to, disseminate research work through presentation. And we have this opportunity for the exchange of viewpoints with other participants. So research provides limitless possibilities for networking and, of course, collaboration. And it actually enables you to meet people from different, countries with different cultural contexts, and you come to learn different perspectives from them. In these events, you will support, you'll experience support from colleagues, and you will be receiving invaluable insights on your research work from other participants. And this is something that is quite interesting in, joining research conferences, because these are the things that you may not have known when you were writing your research, but other colleagues would be able to have that as an input to your work for you to be able to develop it further. And the experience of being part of a research community through attending an organization's research conference, it actually provides us with a starting point for exploring research partnerships. So during these events, you can have networking sessions where you could talk about both your personal and academic experiences, and later talk about the future research plans and how you would potentially need support from colleagues. So this is what I did from 2014 until 2024. I put in the slides the different conferences that I've joined, and I really enjoyed it very much because I had the chance to explore and reflect further on what I really need to focus on in doing research. So once you have established yourself in areas of specializations and, for example, you have started publishing research works with other scholars from different institutions, various research ecosystems would also begin to feel your presence in the research community. So as I present my work in research conferences and published collaborative research works, I started receiving invitations to review papers for conference presentations and for research publications. So reviewing for conferences and journal publications are also ways of engaging in collaborations because these tasks require your expertise in research. When you serve in similar functions, you are not only helping other researchers in improving their work, but you're also harnessing your skills in reviewing and in providing constructive feedback to other scholars. And it is one way for us of giving back to the research community because we are using our skills and talents in research in helping them in their own crafts. So just recently, I joined the Human Ethics Committee of the University of Auckland. So we basically review the ethics application of students and even faculty. And then I consider this, an activity that serves my institution, without asking for additional compensation. And, it's a way of providing work outside my professional role. So in this sense, it's my way of community service in my organization. And of course, there will be also instances when research communities tap your service as members of scientific committees in their respective conferences. So this may be in the form of facilitating a session in a conference and wherein you take active participation in facilitating smooth transitions of research presentations. So this is one good way of serving the research community. You may also receive invitation to serve as a member or of panel of reactors in conferences. In this way, you'd be able to have your inputs in research presentation because your informed opinion matters for the team, and that would also be a way for you to help the budding researchers who are trying to present their work. And though it's not directly related to research publication, these kinds of roles widens your potential in establishing your profile in a specific research community. So organizers eventually learn about your capacity to facilitate research-related activities, and you will have the opportunity to meet experts in the field. And, as you go along with this journey, you become more consistent and, become more active in the research communities that you have chosen. And as you consistently engage with multiple research activities, one day you may be eventually be invited to guide other researchers improving their research skills. This is a very rewarding research activity because, you're no longer focusing on yourself as a researcher, but you're sharing your values, knowledge, and expertise, which you have developed over time, to budding and early career researchers. So in this photo, I was giving a talk on academic citizenship among the PhD students at the University of Auckland and a couple of online trainings that I have conducted previously for the last 5 years. And, no matter how small or big the audience is, the sharing that you give will have a rippled effect to the academic community because it's only when that you share a part of yourself, that you share your experiences as a researcher, that would be a good way for the other researchers to get inspiration from, and they would be more motivated in pursuing their research careers. So in every advancement that you do in establishing a research career in both academic and industry practice, it is also necessary that you set up your online profiles because this would serve as the platform of other researchers to learn about your research portfolio And it's also a way of reaching out to you for potential research engagement. So, whether it's for research writing, reviewing, speaking engagement, or even teaching. So, though there is a need for us to contribute our skills in the development of our respective localities, I would really suggest that it would be beneficial if we become visible and accessible to the global research communities. So, joining this conference is one step of establishing your research portfolio. And wherever you are now in your research career, just keep on writing and keep in mind that these 10 tips that may help you in navigating a research career in your respective specializations. Thank you very much for listening to this keynote speech, and I hope you have picked up something valuable and practical points in the sharing of my research journey. So if you wish to reach out to me in the future, here are my contact details. So you may also see my details in my University of Auckland and Massey University web pages, aside from my LinkedIn account. So all the best to your research endeavors. Thank you and goodbye.
Thank you very much, Dr. Separa, for that insightful and inspiring keynote presentation. Our keynote speaker reminded us that the journey of a researcher is not a path that is given, it is a path that we create. And drawing from a decade of research experience, she emphasized that research is far more than writing papers and publishing studies. It is a journey of discovery of new knowledge, building meaningful friendship, exploring different places and cultures, and ultimately understanding ourselves and the world more deeply. Through her 10 practical milestones, from recognizing our strengths, beginning to write about the topics that ignite our curiosity, pursuing postgraduate studies, engaging in conferences and research networks, she illustrated how researchers can continuously grow and expand their impact. Her message was both inspiring and empowering. Research is an adventure of exploration and lifelong learning. And every researcher has a unique journey, and every step taken into curiosity, courage, and commitment. Sabi nga, research is not merely about finding answers. It is about becoming the person capable of asking better questions. And this captures the essence of the journey of our speaker. Once again, thank you very much, Dr. Lenis Aslin Sisepara, and I request to once again give her a well-deserved virtual applause. As we reflect on the valuable ideas shared by this keynote address, may we continue to embrace the spirit of collaboration, cultural understanding, and academic excellence that lies at the heart of the meaningful research and global engagement. We will now move on to our next keynote speaker. So from our first keynote that addresses and highlight the importance of the understanding people, culture, and communities in increasing interconnected world, as we continue our intellectual journey, we shift our focus from another to another equally important dimensions of society, law, governance, and public policy. These pillars shape institutions, protect rights, and provide the framework through which societies pursue justice, accountability, and sustainable development. Allow me to introduce our second keynote speaker. So, our next keynote speaker is a distinguished legal scholar and a researcher currently based in Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates, where he serves as a lecturer and a research assistant at the United Arab Emirates University. He is also affiliated with the Faculty of Law, Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, Talo in Indonesia, and has established an outstanding academic career specializing in constitutional law, public law, Islamic law, local government law, and legal reform. He earned his Bachelor of Laws from Universitas Negeri Gorontalo before completing his Masters of Law at Universitas Islam Bandung, where he further strengthened his expertise in constitutional and public law. His academic training combined his extensive experience in legal research, regulatory drafting, and policy analysis, has enabled him to make meaningful contributions to legal education, legislative reform, and evidence based governance. Throughout his career, he has made significant contributions to legal research and public policy. He has served as an academic manuscript drafter for regional governments across Indonesia and as a member of the expert team for regional regulation evaluation under Indonesia's Ministry of Law and Human Rights. His scholarly excellence is reflected in his extensive publication in reputable international journals, strong citation record, and active engagement as a peer reviewer and editorial board member for numerous Scopus and Web of Science index journals. Through these roles, he has consistently promoted research quality, academic integrity, and international scholarly collaborations. His qualifications extend beyond research productivity to leadership in legal scholarships and academic capacity building. He has reviewed manuscripts for leading international journals across the fields of law, public policy, and social sciences, served on the editorial boards of several international publications, and facilitated workshops on scientific writing, publication strategies, and legal research methodology. His expertise in legal reasoning, constitutional studies, regulatory analysis, and scholarly publishing has earned him recognition as a respected academic leader committed to advancing legal education, strengthening research excellence, and fostering international academic collaboration. Please join me in warmly welcoming Dr. Muhammad Hidayat Mutar for his keynote address.
Good day to member of the ICMIAR organizing committee, fellow speaker, research educators, students, and participants from around the world. Thank you very much for the opportunity to deliver this keynote address at the 7th International Conference on Multidisciplinary Industry and Academic Research. My name is Muhammad Hidayat Muhtar, and I am currently serving as a research assistant in the United Arab Emirates, and I am a lecturer, Faculty of Law, Universitas Negeri Gorontalo, Indonesia. Today, I will speak about artificial intelligence and digitalization in scholarly publishing, with particular attention to copyright, plagiarism, and academic integrity. This topic brings together technology, law, research, ethics, and professional responsibility. Artificial intelligence can improve language, translate text, and support research. It can also make the origin of words, sources, images, and contribution harder to see. My argument is not that artificial intelligence must be rejected, but my argument is that must be used with clear rules, yeah, careful verification, honest discourse, and accountable human judgment. Innovation should help knowledge move more widely, but it shall never weaken trust in the scholarly record. Let's us begin by asking why this topic matter now. Yeah, why these topics material. It's matter because artificial intelligence and digital publishing are changing the entry evidence chains of scholarly communication. In the past, the main question was often who wrote this work. Then question remains important, but it is no longer enough. We must also ask how was the work produced, which tools were used, how were the claims verified, were source and images lawfully used, what was disclosed. The first step, the first step is creation. Yes, where research may use artificial intelligence for drafting, editing, translation of image generation. The second, the second step is submission, where digital portals collect manuscript, declaration, and authorship information. The three step is review. Yes, review editors and reviewer must evaluate quality, protect confidently, and use screening tools carefully. The fourth step is publication, where enjoyment, license, indexing, and reuse rules determine how the work circulates. Digitalization makes the text faster and more connected, but speed can make responsibility less visible. Good records and honest disclosure therefore become more important. This led to the central argument of my presentation. Yeah, my central argument is this. Artificial intelligence might assist scholarship, but it cannot replace human authorship, human verification, or human responsibility. This argument, yeah, has three parts. Yes, three parts. First, copyright protect original expression and provides a legal system for ownership, permission, licensing, and lawful reuse. Culture must now whether word, images, figures, data, and other materials may legally be used. Second, plagiarism constrains the honest representation of intellectual contribution. It asks whether for a person has present another person's words, idea, structure, or contribution as if it were entirely their own. Three, publication integrity requires transparency. Yes, disclose and accountable human judgment. A tools may generate fluent language, but if cannot achieve ethical duties, approve the final manuscript, yes, answer for error or repair the scholarship record. Responsibility, artificial intelligence use is the trigger not anti-technology, but it is pro-trust and protect the reliability of publication. Yes. To develop argument clearly, I will move through for part my slide. First, I will uh, clarify copyright, plagiarism, authorship, and digitalization. These terms are related, but they are not incompatible. Second, I will discuss copyright question involving artificial intelligence include input, output, permission, license, and human creative control. Third, I will examine plagiarism, disclose citation problem, confidently, detection limit, and human review. And fourth, I will offer practical framework for authors, journals, institutions, and policymakers. The aim is to avoid to extremists. Yes, treating every use as misconducted or treating technology as a automatically and a balanced approach recognize both benefit and rights. We can begin by separating for the uh, key terms. Yes, confusion begins when different concepts are treated as if they mean the same thing. The first term is copyright. Copyright is a legal system that protect certain form of original expression and regulates rights as reproduction, distribution, adoption, display, and license. The second term in plagiarism is mainly an ethical and academic problem. It occurs when a person mispresents the source of words, ideas, structure, or intellectual contribution. The three terms is authorship, mainly an ethical and academic problem. It occurs when a person mispresents the source of words, idea, yes, sorry, intellectual contribution, approval of the final works, and responsibility for its accuracy and integrity. And the fourth, term digitalization. Using digital system to produce, submit, review, publish, preserve, and use scholarship. One manuscript may rise all for issue if an artificial intelligence tool rewriting a paragraph. Yes, a paragraph. The journal must, as whenever the material was lawfully used, credit, control, verified, and disclosed. Copyright as about rights, plagiarism as about credit, authorship as about contribution and responsibility. Digitalization as how the process is managed and recorded. Yes, with this discussion in place, we can examine copyright more closely. Next slide. Yes, copyright provides part of the architecture of scholarly publishing. The basic starting point is that copyright protects expression, not ideas by themselves. A fact, method, or general idea is different from the particular language, image, figure, diagram, codes, or environment used to express. The first element is expression, including specific wording, original image, diagrams, code, and creative environment. The second element is right, which might include distribution, yes, display, adaptation, license, and enforcement. The three element is ownership. It might remain with the author of be affected by employment, funding, police or a publishing enjoyment author should read their contract carefully. The fourth element is a limit, including fair use of fair dealing, expectation, license, and the public domain. In scholarly publishing, copyright also concerns permission, attribution, license, access, and reuse. Responsibly, author should as not only can I find this online, but also might I use it in this publication and under what condition. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, my question, what copyright protect in publication? Yes, artificial intelligence create three particle copyright question: input, output, and use. The first input, where where copyright text, image, or data used in training or placed into a prompt. Online materials is not automatic, free to copy into a tools. License and confidently may still apply. The second question, output. Yes, is the result mainly machine generate or it reflects mindful human selection, modification, analysis, and judgment. The result explain the human contribution. The three question constraint use. Yes, publication my require permission, citation, license, complaints, or disclose image, translates, and adapted content particular care. The author shall check the source, licensee, journal policy, and nature of the human contribution. The particle rule is simple. Do not publish artificial intelligence assistant material unless human can explain it very and take responsibility for it. Yes, this rule brings us to the continuing importance of the human author. Okay, next. Yes, the human author remains central because assistant is not the same as authorship. Yes, authorship. A prompt is the not automatically a story contribution. A generate answer is also not the same as verified scholarship. Fluent language can appear authoritative even when the content is incomplete or inaccurate. Human creative control includes selecting question, interpretasi, evidence, and making intellectual judgment. Human verification means checking facts, source, data, image, and interpretation. Every reference must lead to a real source, and the source must actually support the claim. Human responsibility means accepting accountability for accuracy, originality, permission, conflict of interest, correction, and the final decision to publish. An artificial intelligence system cannot approve the manuscript. Yes, responsibility to a reviewer, disclose a conflict, or correct the record after publication. It can be be a instrument, but it cannot be the accountable author of a scholarly work. The name author must understand the manuscript, approve it, and defend its important claim. So then responsibility continued throughout every step of the publication. Okay, next slide. Yes, is the copyright in the publication. Yes, copyright moves towards contract, license, platform, and different state of publication. The process begin with the manuscript when the author create the word at submission. The journal asks about authorship, originality, permission, and sometimes artificial intelligence use. The next text is the enjoyment, where the author transfer. Yeah, author may transfer copyright or grant exclusive or non-exclusive license. After publication, the work may receive a digital object identifier index and appear in a repository. Reads my letter quotes, reproduce, adapt, or analyze. Before publication, authors should make three checks. Who owns the copyright? What license governs access and reuse? Are all images, figures, table, data, and artificial intelligence assistant material permitted? Open access is not ultimately unrestricted. The license still explain permits, use, and condition, such as contribution or attribution. Digital publication makes the use easier. Clear contract, license, and record make the reuse suffer. So copyright is only one part of the problems. We must now turn off to plagiarism. Yes, plagiarism in the digital era. The forms of plagiarism have changed, but the central premise remains misinterpretation. Yes, direct copy paste occurs when a person reproduce another author's language without proper attribution. Yes. Writing change a few words but keeps the origin author's language or structure too closely. Yeah, paraphrase without the credit occurs when idea expression in the new words, but the intellectual sort is not citation. Yes, sort is not citation. Self-plagiarism is self-plagiarism reuse previously published language data or analysis without disclose, misleading the read about what is new. Yes, and AI assistant misinterpretation occurs when generate material is the present as fully original human work. The tool is hidden or it claim are not checked. AI use is not automatically plagiarism. Dishonest presentation is the problem. Fake citation. Yes, fake citation. Occurs when reference is innovated, does not support the statement, or is used without consulting the original source. Yeah, plagiarism is therefore not limited to copying words. It can also hide the true source of an idea of the actual contribution made by a uh, human author. The surface practice is accurate connotation, yeah, paraphrase original source citation, disclose of reuse, and the explanation of significant artificial intelligence assistant. Yes, artificial intelligence make this harder because it can hide the path from the short sentence. Okay, next slide. Yes, why I complicated plagiarism? Yes, it's the very important. The main risk, not only copying, it is the path behind artificial intelligence output might be difficult to see. The first problem, yes, is a source, yeah, source. A generate sentence, my son original will it is information source remains unknown. Yes. The second problem is the citation. Yes. Reference might be incomplete, inaccurate, fabrication, or connect to the wrong claim. Connect to the wrong claim. Yeah. A citation that looks professional can still be false. The third problem is detection limits. Similarity and AI detection tools provide signals, not final judgment. A high score may include legitimate quotation, and a low score does not prevent originality. The fourth problem is the responsibility gap. Yes, responsibility gap. And author may rely on a tool without understanding the output or the checking the source. Yes, the solution is no blind substitution. Yes, not blind substitution. Editor should examine context, compare source, have the author's explanation, yeah, and follow fair produce. Yeah, a human must decide what the evidence means. Human-led evaluation protects both integrity and the right of the person assents. We must also, yes, plagiarism from the copyright. Yes, next slide. Yes, is the very important. Yes, copyright infringement and plagiarism might overlap, but they are not identical. Yes, not identical. Copyright infringement is a legal violation of protected rights. It might involve authorized reproduction, distribution, adaptation, display, or communication or protect material. Plagiarism is an academic and ethical violation involving dishonest representation of words, yeah, ideas, yes, authorship or intellectual contribution. Yes, consider and the two examples. A person might copy publish domain material without the copy public domain material without naming the source. There might be no copyright infringement, but presenting the past as us on can still be plagiarism. In another case, a person might reproduce is a copyright image and clearly name the photographer. The attribution may avoid plagiarism, but if permission is recruitment and absence, the use might still infringe the copyright. There is also share risk. Yes, copying without attribution might violate but legal rights and ethical standard. We must ask two questions. Yes, we must ask two questions. Do I have permission to use this material? Yes. Have I honestly acknowledged the source and my own contribution? Responsibility publication requires both lawful permission and honest credit. Yes, it's the clear. Yes, it's the clear. Okay, next slide. Okay, next slide. Editorial governance for artificial intelligence or AI assistant publication. Yes, rules should be clear before a manuscript becomes controversial. Good governance give author, reviewers, and editors their understanding of what is expected. Yes, is expected. That first, the first requirement is the disclose. Yes, author should state whatever, where, and how artificial intelligence affected the world. Yeah, minor language, help from substantial drafting, analyze, translation, or images generation. The seconds, the seconds, uh, the seconds, human author remain responsibility for accuracy originality, citation, permission, and the final manuscript. The three requirement is a confidently. Yes, reviewer and editor shall not place unpublished manuscript or sensitive information into external system unless the use is authorized and protect. Yes, the fourth requirement is the human review. Yes, the human review is the very, very, very important. Similarity check and other system may support judgment, but they should not replace careful reading. Yes, not replace careful reading. The five requirement is a file correction process, yeah, including inquiry, response, correction, or retraction. When necessary, author shall be able to answer a concern. A strong policy shall be a clear, proportionality, consistent, and supportive of honest discourse. Yes, digital tools can support this governance when they are there as evidence, not as unquestionable authorities. Okay, next. Digitalization can strengthen integrity. Yes, digitalization can strengthen academic integrity, but only when tools are governed rather than worshipped. Similarity check can yes, identifies passages and then deserve closer examination. They should be a starting signal, not an automatic verdict. Yes, not automatic. Metadata and precision identification can make a contribution more visibility by connecting our work to its authors, funding, and history. License systems so what user read, share, reproduce, or adapt it. Clear license and permission record reduce uncertainty. Version control, yes, preprints, accepted manuscript correction, final publication, helping readers identify the proper version. Record document where material came from and how it was reproduced, including the tools, important prompts, source, major edit, and human verification. No single record proves integrity, but together they support careful human evaluation. Integrity technology works best when a crisis, transparency, and super judgment. Yes, particle case can show how this principle work together. Okay, next. Okay, next slide. Yes. Consider a common scenario: an author asks an artificial intelligence system to draft part of a literature review. Yes. The system produces fluent paragraph and several reference. Some reference are real, some are inaccurate, and some do not exist. Yes, the first content is the legal risk. Yes, yes, the first is a legal risk. The output may reproduce, protect expression, or include material that cannot be used without permission or a valid exception. Yes. The second here is the ethical risk. Yes, hiding the tools, yeah, presenting generated synthesis a personal word, or citing source never consulted. The third is the quality, yes, quality risk. Fluent text may contain false, yes, false claim. It's very important, false claim, yeah, false claim, false citation, yes. Yes, the remedy is a disciplined human process. The author should read a verified source, confirm is the details, and check then in the support the claim. Yeah, unvariable material should be removed. The discussion should be rewritten. So the author is own analysis with accurate citation. Yes, relevant AI use and copyright questions should be addressed. Yes, the author should keep enough record to explain what the tool did and what the human research verificates. Yes, the value is not asking for assistance is the public's unchecked assistant of very scholarship. Yes, fluence must not be mistaken for truth. Yes, to prevent the uh, failures. I propose a simple five-step framework. Okay, yes, a five-step framework. Yes, the first step is permission. Yes, check copyright license confidently and three-party material. As wherever the material may enter the tools and wherever the result may be published. The second step is attribution. Cite words, ideas, data, images, and the methods, even when the language has the change. The third step, disclose. Tell whatever was their artificial intelligence was used and for what purpose, such as editing, translation, drafting, analysis, or images generation. The fourth step is the verification, covering every fact. Yeah. Reference, images, data point, and interpretation. Do not cite a source. Yeah, do not cite a source, then you have not checked. Yes. No. The five step is accountability. Human author must approve the final manuscript. Yes, correct error, answer the question, and the remain responsibility after publication. Yes, and before submission, ask, do I have permission? Have I attribute disclosed and verificates, yeah, properly, and I'm ready to take responsibility. This this framework turns abstract ethic into repeatable publication practice. Yes, it will work only when responsibility is shared across the publication system. Okay, next. Yes, what different? Yes, my question, what difference? Yes, responsibility publication requires shared action across the entry ecosystem. Authors shall disclose AI use, very claim, citation accurately, check permission, and keep records. They shall not submit material they cannot defend. Editor and journal shall publish clear policies on authorship, equitable assistance, discourse, images very confidently, and correction. This shall use similarity and detection tools, yeah, shall not treat a solver's call as approved and misconducted. Institutional Salt train research is in the copyright research methods and data protection and artificial intelligence literacy. They also need fire investigation and support for the multi-goal and early career research using liquid tools legitimately. Yes, policymakers shall clarify copyright rules. Yes, copyright rules, transparency, protect creator, and preserve reasonable access to knowledge. No single actor. Yes, no single actor can carry the burden alone. Author need clear police, editor needs support, and institution need the legal clarity. Good governance, distribution responsibility, instead of the placing all trust in one person or one source. Yes, one soul. I will close by returning to the relationship between innovation and integrity. Yes, my closing message. Uh, okay, let me close with the two connect my ideas. First, digital publications shall make knowledge more accessibly by improving discovery, collaboration, and public rights. Second, responsibility AI governance solves made the knowledge more trustworthy. Yes, trust requires clear responsibility, no source, and respect right and verified claims is the very important. Yes, and is how innovation can strengthen, yes, rather than weaken the scholarly record. Thank you very much for your kind attention and for opportunity to contribute to the conference. I look forward to your question and to our discussion during the open forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Muhammad Hidayat Mutar, for that insightful keynote address. In your talk, we've learned that on AI and digitalization in scholarly publishing, copyright, plagiarism, and academic integrity, underscored the growing intersection of research, artificial intelligence, and the law in today's rapidly evolving academic landscape. You emphasize that artificial intelligence is no longer a distant possibility, but a present reality that is transforming the way knowledge is created, disseminated, and accessed. Rather than resisting this technological shift, the academic community must learn to embrace AI responsibly and ethically. Your central argument was clear. AI should not be feared nor rejected. It should be accepted and utilized within the framework of established legal and ethical standards. Ultimately, your presentation challenged us to view AI not as a replacement for human scholarship, but as a powerful tool that, when guided by legal principles and ethical responsibility, can strengthen the quality, accessibility, and integrity of research in this digital age. On behalf of IARI and ICMIAR and all our participants, we extend our sincere appreciation for your valuable contribution to this conference. Ladies and gentlemen, let us again give a warm round of virtual applause to Dr. Muhammad Hidayat Mutar. And moving on, our guests, STEAM researchers, and valued participants. At this point in our program, we were scheduled to hear from our third keynote speaker. However, due to the significant time difference between countries and unforeseen scheduling constraints, our keynote speaker is unfortunately unable to join us at this time. While we regret missing this session, the essence of research and innovation lies in meaningful collaboration and knowledge exchange. In that spirit, we will proceed with a more interactive segment of our conference. Are we all ready for this? Instead of the traditional keynote open forum, we invite everyone to participate in an open discussion. There is a slight change in our approach for this segment of this conference. But because our conference chair aptly reminded us, we reshape research. Today, we embrace not only through presentations, but also through meaningful dialogue and shared experiences. And because of that, instead of traditional question and answer session, we will be holding an open discussion forum centered on our two important themes. First, the creating your path as researcher, where we will explore your experiences, lessons, challenges, and advice that can inspire budding and emerging researchers as they navigate their own research journey. And the second is AI and research, where we will exchange insights, best practices, opportunities, and ethical considerations in integrating artificial intelligence into research and your scholarly work. Can we now start this open discussion? So, whether you're an experienced researcher, an educator, a student, or a first time participant, your experience and insights can contribute meaningfully to our collective learning. So, let us seize this opportunity to learn from one another, inspire one another, and explore how innovation and technology can shape the future of research. With that, we now open the floor for our discussion. Do we have any volunteer? You may raise your hand and open your microphone to be recognized. I see one. And and she is already smiling. I think she really wants to share something on either of the topic presented by our keynote speaker. May I call on Dr. Angela Nieva Los Tañas? Please introduce yourself, Doc.
Yeah, thank you so much po to our very energetic and well-guided na moderator for this session, Dr. Mary Jane Escarandang. And for everybody, I'd like to introduce myself. I am Angela J. Nieva-Lustanyas, and I am from CSTC, College of Sciences, Technology, and Communications Incorporated, located here in Sariaya, Quezon, Philippines. And with the topics given earlier, I was really moved by all the presentation given by our two keynote speakers. So, most especially on the first one, which is all about engaging in international and multidisciplinary research collaboration. With a discussion earlier, it gives us an understanding that research is really a journey wherein the path is not given and we create something out of it from our curiosity. We ask ourselves things that we would like to explore more through asking and through researching. And it reminds us that research is not just about writing papers but also disseminating and sharing what we've got and what our output to tell us about the result of our study. With the given message of Dr. Lenius, she has given us 10 ways on how we can engage in international and multidisciplinary research collaboration. And with all those 10, I understand that research is really something that we have to invest with. No, it's something that we also have to do within ourselves. First, as we reflect our strength as a researcher, it's something that we can use as a stepping ground so that we can also inspire other in doing research studies. And actually, with the 10 practical milestone, I was inspired, no, that as someone who is also into research, we also have to be the first to initiate and promote, no, the use of research and to think of an idea or study that we can deeply and use for our continuous growth and to expand our impact to our institution and the society. And along with it, no, with a second discussion of Dr. Muhammad, it's very timely that we talk about AI. And it's still a debate whether how we will recognize AI kung it's something like a friend or a foe to everybody. But then the session given earlier on AI and digitalization still highlight that there is a dual role of technology. It is both an enabler and a challenge in academic publishing, where AI and digital platforms streamline our research dissemination. We just have to be very responsible in using it so that we can avoid critical concerns like copyright protection, the plagiarism detection, and preservation of our academic integrity. And just like to share with you, no, in our institution, we also emphasize that digitalization democratizes research and it demands really a stronger ethical framework, institutional policies, and proactive so that we can preserve trust in academic publishing. Now, we acknowledge that we are still in the process of developing comprehensive guidelines on the responsible use of AI in scholarly publishing. And as we frame this, we believe that these guidelines will serve as a framework so that our students and even our teachers, faculty researchers will have a guide and have a framework to safeguard copyright, prevent plagiarism, and uphold academic integrity. And in parallel, we are also on the process of evaluating the purchase and integration of advanced tools that can also support faculty and researchers in maintaining ethical standards while leveraging the benefits of digitalization. So this ongoing effort of our institution um, is a clear evidence to our commitment to balance the innovation with responsibility, with ensuring that our academic community remains both progressive and principled. So, thank you so much to everybody, and I hope you get something from my sharing for this morning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc Angela. I think I am eyeing our next keynote speaker with that sharing. You've made mention and made us realize that research itself teaches us an important lesson, and that is flexibility, resilience, and adaptability is indeed an essential in navigating challenges and uncertainties. And today is no exception indeed. May I again request somebody who would like to share his or her insights on our two discussions? Let us again seize this opportunity to learn from one another. Okay, if it would help to our participants, I can ask questions. For example, what inspired you to pursue research, and how did you begin your research journey? That is for our first keynote. Yes, I would like to acknowledge Mr. Romel Sena. Kindly introduce your name again and the institution where you come from.
All right. Good morning, everyone. I am Mr. Ramel B. Sena. I am very sorry that I can't change the background of my video, but still, I am very grateful for the opportunity that IARI had given me to attend this conference. And before that, let me introduce myself and my background. Well, I am a fresh graduate from Mindoro State University. Last year, I am affiliated in Mindoro State University, but now I'm currently having my review for licensure examination for teacher. And yes, I graduated with a bachelor's of secondary education, major in science. And just the backstory, back then when I was fourth year college, I presented my research in one of the events of the IARI, which is the International Research Conference. And I ranked as the first runner up. That is a prestigious recognition from the institute. And yes, I am newbie in research. I'm just starting my uh, I'm just starting my journey in research. That's why I am very eager to attend different conferences and also to collaborate with different professionals. Yes, I'm very privileged to uh, see the professors, teachers, researchers, especially in the industry and across the world. So I learned a lot from the lectures, most especially the collaboration. That's why I'm looking forward to collaborate to different professional as well as in the industry, and also for the how to ethically use AI in research, because back then it is true, uh, when I was in college, I did not use AI ethically, most especially in the that what we call the baby thesis. We just copy and paste from AI. But now, when I engage in different conferences and webinars and seminars on how to ethically use AI, I found it very useful, as well as it will leverage the quality of research if used, or if used ethically. That's why I am also right now I'm just reflecting on what will happen on my mangrove thesis, because the research I presented on IRC is a mangrove thesis, which we do believe that it will impact the community. That's why I am thinking to collaborate with our local community as well as the different professional who have profound knowledge on mangrove, so that I know and I do believe even this is the starting point of my journey in research. I am confident that there is a community who is very willing to support me in this journey. And I am very shy to raise my hand, but I took it took me a lot of courage to raise hand and to share with all the professionals in this conference. So that's it. Thank you so much. And to all the newbie researchers like me, let's just enjoy the journey, because that's my principle. Just enjoy the journey and look for uh, possibilities out there, because I always say to my colleagues that the world is big and the world can offer a lot of knowledge, things, and opportunities for us. Thank you so much. I hope I became an inspiration to each and every one of you. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sir Romel, for the courage to speak, and congratulations for your winning. Although it happened last year, I see indeed a bright future for you as a researcher. As you share your journey, although you are starting, I could sense that enthusiasm, the curiosity, and that passion for learning. You really have set an inspiring example for the newbies, or what we call the young blood researchers of this time. So thank you for sharing, and thank you for inspiring. Again, your work
Thank
really
you so much.
reflects the value of this, how you value research, and reminding us, the not so young bloods in research, for reigniting again the passion to create more researchers to inspire the new bloods for this research community. Thank you so much. Okay. Are there anyone who wants to share? How about for our best practices in using artificial intelligence in research? I would like to know, how is AI currently being utilized in your institutions, in your research activities, or about what AI tools have you found most helpful in conducting research, and for what specific purposes? Or let us consider, how can AI support researchers in literature review, data analysis, the academic writing, and publication preparations? Anyone? Volunteer? Or will Doc Rod be giving prize for the sharers of the day? We have 72 participants, and I think um, we can have one sharer. Or if you're quite shy, using the microphone, you can type your message in the chat box, and I am very much willingly to read your um, your comments and suggestions. No one is opening their camera. Sir Michael, would you like to share?
Hi, good good morning. It's about lunch. So good morning to everyone. I am Michael Tisibulien from all the way from Baguio City. The question is AI tools. AI tools. As a researcher, it's okay. I was taught to rely, not entirely rely on AI tools. However, um, what I'm using mostly in my navigation of literature, related literature or references is I use Mendeley as one of the application that I use to fast track my indexing, my organizing of my literatures. I normally use Gemini for restructuring the format, as well as ChatGPT. I use them only for the restructuring the format that I needed to, like APA, MLA, and the like. But I always counter check it after the AI, because there are, as you can as like person, there are also some inconsistencies that can be found in the output, and of course, as a researcher, it is always good if we counter check. And of course, as part of the ethical consideration, I always declare it my as part of my research process search process. And in the counter checking itself also, I always use for the final. I always use uh, plagiarism plagiarism tools like Turnitin to check if my AI generativity index is high, and I'll try to humanize it. And those those are some practices that I'm doing as a researcher, because I found out that it can save time, and of course, practicality wise, it saves more effort. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Can I ask you a follow-up question for that?
Yes, po.
Um, as a researcher, how can you balance the efficiency provided by AI with critical thinking and scholarly judgment? Because that is the context of your sharing.
Yes.
Can you give us a tip?
Yes. Normally, as a researcher, I am how do you call that one? Organizing my ideas first without the use of AI, because if I do so, it affects the content already, that the direction that I want to. As a researcher, I do not want to be um, misled by this AI. Rather, I use it to organize better my thoughts. For instance, I accept I myself has a poor grammar skills, and uh, I have the thought already, and I will input it in the ChatGPT prompt, saying write 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 this content as if you are a uh, college teacher for a perfect grammar, something like that. It really writes down the check and fix the content that I want. And then after that, if everything is okay, I'll submit it again to turn it in for checking and for revision. Do not do not rely so much. Do not consult first AI. Rather, you build first your idea, jot it down, write it down, make a skeletal or bullet to guide you, because if you consult AI first, it might lead you to something else or to uh, change the direction of your research.
Thank you very much, Sir Michael. And if everybody would agree with me, I think Sir Michael is trying to say that the researchers must really ensure the transparency and how AI tools are utilized. Right? We have to verify the accuracy of the AI generated outputs. And of course, we must properly acknowledge sources. And we as researchers must remain accountable for the final work that we produce. It tells us that we do not, the effective use of AI lies not merely on adapting technology, but it in using it wisely, responsibly, and ethically. Thank you so much, Sir Michael, for sharing your insights. May I have another? I know that all of us really wanted to share something, and I am waiting for messages in our chat box. If you are quite shy on sharing your thoughts, okay, you might type or key in. Okay, for our, yes, ma'am. I see a hand. Ma'am Angel Marie Gonzalez, you are recognized.
Hello po. Okay, good morning everyone po. Good morning to our participants. So, to introduce myself po, I'm Angel Marie D. Gonzalez, currently pursuing a Doctor of Philosophy in Business Administration at Wesleyan University, Philippines, here in Cabanatuan City. And the topics discussed in this conference po is highly relevant to my dissertation, especially to my ongoing publication sa IARC nga po. While many of the presentations focus on academic setting, my research specifically examines the application of AI in the workplace. So kung mga discussions recently is about sa school setup or academic, so may research focus on the workplace. And this is my first time attending an international research conference, and as our doctorate program encouraged us to publish our research in reputable journals. And I'm glad that I choose this journal po. I'm greatly grateful for this opportunity to learn from our distinguished researchers and fellow participants. As a human resource professional, I strongly believe that AI should not be feared. Rather than replacing human, AI should be viewed as a powerful tool, enhances our capabilities, improving productivity, and especially supports our decision making. However, they must use responsible governance for sure. They must be guided. I also agreed that they must be guided by ethical standards, transparency, accountability, and responsible governance. This is one of the key policy recommendation in my research submitted, that to develop ethical AI policies that enable organizations to maximize the benefits of AI, especially while safeguarding the employees' rights and maintaining meaningful human oversight. For my experience naman po as a doctoral student, I has also become an invaluable research assistant, and it also helped us organize yung AI to identify the relevant keywords and quickly locate yung related literature without having to physically visit multiple libraries or reference centers to search for books and previous study. And with just a few clicks, AI can provide us a range of relevant sources that researchers can further evaluate and verify. This has made the research process especially much more efficient and accessible. And in our university, Wesleyan University, Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, our current research guidelines correctly, the use of AI is permitted, but within acceptable limits in the research writing. The emphasis is that AI should use as supporting tool, not as a substitute for critical thinking. And syempre, we also need to be academic responsible. Researchers must also remain accountable for the accuracy, originality, and the integrity of our work. And that's my sharing for today. Thank you very much po, and I'm looking forward for the learning from other experiences as well. Thank you so much po for the invitation for this conference.
Thank you very much, Mom Angel, for your sharing. So, from her, we've learned that this in a rapidly transforming the modern workplace, AI indeed reshapes how organization performs tasks, whether it's in school or other establishments. I think AI has really the capacity to enhance our productivity as well as we streamline our processes and to create new opportunities for innovation and growth. And again, however, true value of AI lies not in technology itself. I think all our sharers is telling us, but it is how people choose to use it. So, are there anyone who wants to share? One more sharer. If we will go back and recall those sharing from our keynote speakers and also from our participants, there's one common thing and could be encapsulated our discussion that indeed in AI must be guided by responsibility, transparency, and ethical considerations. So technology should serve humanity and must empower individuals and organizations while upholding fairness and this word, a big word of accountability and integrity. Once again, if there will be no more sharer, I would like to thank those brave souls for enriching this discussion and for helping us better understand the opportunities and responsibilities that come with us as a researchers and with this use of AI. So I hope that this serve as our inspiration and our hallmark of scholarly engagement through this meaningful dialogue. So let us now give or move on to our the next part of our program. This is with regards to the presentation of partners and our collaboration. So it is said that the success of this international gathering is a testament to the power of collaboration, shared vision, and collective commitment to the advancement of knowledge. Bringing together scholars, researchers, educators, industry practitioners, and institutions from diverse regions of the world, this conference reflects the strength of a global academic community united by a common pursuit of excellence, innovation, and meaningful impact. At this juncture, we proudly recognize the institutions, organizations, and individuals whose partnership and support have made this conference possible. Their dedication to fostering research, encouraging scholarly exchange, and building international networks continues to contribute significantly to the advancement of education and research across disciplines and borders. We're especially honored to acknowledge one of our valued institutional partners, Dr. Carlos S. Lantin College, whose collaboration and support have helped enrich this conference and strengthen opportunities for academic engagement and professional growth. To learn more about our esteemed partner institution, we invite everyone to watch this audio-visual presentation. Thank you very much. We extend our heartfelt appreciation to Dr. Carlos S. Lantin College for its commitment to educational excellence and for being a valued partner in this endeavor. To all our partners, collaborators, and delegates, we express our deepest gratitude and sincere appreciation. Partnership such as this exemplify how institutions can work together to create meaningful opportunities for learning, research, and innovation. We are honored to have you as part of this global community of scholars, and we look forward to fostering meaningful collaborations that will inspire future discoveries and transformative solutions for our society. For institutions interested in establishing academic partnerships, collaborative research initiatives, conference engagements, or scholarly exchange with the IARI, we warmly welcome you to connect with us through our official website. Together, we can continue build bridges and advance knowledge and create lasting impact with global academic community. Before we proceed to our lunch break and soon our plenary session, let me go over for some important conference guidelines and decorum to ensure a smooth and engaging experience for everyone. This is just a quick reminder. However, it is very important for us to be knowledgeable about this. First, for our record and upload presentation, the entire or part of the conference is recorded for future upload in the various social media platforms. With regards to our punctuality, presenters are expected to be at their respective breakout rooms before the start of the session. For our presentation order, the sequence of presentation can be found in our conference program. And for presentation timing, it is reminded that each presenter is given 10 minutes to track their chair moderates the session and alerts the presenter of the time limit. Question and answer is to be conducted after the last presenter, and participants are encouraged to write questions in the chat box. Of course, for our netiquette, all participants are expected to follow proper network etiquette. The conference organizers have all the rights to drop any participants from the session in case of misbehavior. Now, as we conclude our morning sessions, we would like to thank our keynote speakers and all participants for the valuable insights and meaningful discussion. For this, we will now take a lunch break. Please take this time to relax, recharge, and connect with our fellow delegates if possible. Kindly be back by 1 p.m. as we resume with the plenary research presentations. And after the plenary presentations, participants are requested to proceed to their designated or assigned Zoom breakout rooms for the parallel sessions under the tracks of educational management, social sciences, business management and accounting, and our session chairs will be there to guide you. Please watch out also for the evaluation links that will be posted later. And accomplishing the evaluation forms is very important for the processing of your certificates. Should you need any assistance, feel free to use our chat box. Enjoy your lunch, everyone, and we look forward to seeing everyone back at 1 p.m. sharp. Thank you and see you shortly.
Good afternoon, distinguished evaluators, presenters, fellow researchers, and conference participants. Welcome to the plenary paper presentation of the 7th International Conference on Multidisciplinary Industry and Academic Research 2026. It is my honor and privilege to serve you as your session chair and moderator for this afternoon's plenary presentations. So before we begin, allow me to introduce myself briefly. I am Dr. Jeda Bacosquinho Hustol, a licensed professional teacher and a certified research specialist. I currently serve as an assistant professor for and research coordinator of the College of Education at Taguluan Community College, Misamis Oriental. And I am also a regular member of the National Research Council of the Philippines under Division 8 Social Sciences. And as your moderator and session chair, I will facilitate the proceedings, introduce our presenters, manage the allotted presentation time, moderate the open forum, and provide brief feedback for each presentation. So it is a privilege to participate in this session and witness the meaningful exchange of research findings, multidisciplinary perspective, and professional insights among our presenters and participants. So before anything else, I'd like to share with you the quick reminders for today's session. Allow me to present my slide. All right. So as you can see here, can I see a thumbs up if you have already seen my slide? Can I see a thumbs up? All right. So for the reminder of everybody, the entire part of the conference is recorded for future upload in the various social media platforms. And also, presenters are expected to be at their respective breakout rooms before the start of the session. And the sequence of the presentation can be found in the conference program, and I believe that it was already sent to you. Kindly check your email. And also each presenter is given 10 minutes. The track chair moderates the session and alerts the presenter of the time limit. Question and answer is to be conducted after the last presenter. Participants are encouraged to write questions in the chat box. All participants are expected to follow proper network etiquette, and the conference organizers have all the rights to drop any participants from the session in case of any misbehavior. Can I see a thumbs up if you have understood our guidelines? Can I see? Or a heart reaction? Okay, so for this afternoon's plenary presentations, we have actually 4 presenters. So let's start with our presenter number 1 on poverty as a systematic equilibrium and integrated household systems framework, or IHSF for development dynamics. So we have here our presenter, Dr. Sunil Kumar. Doc?
Yes, good morning, madam. My voice is clear to you. Please confirm.
Yes, it's clear.
Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I'll share my presentation.
Yes, you may.
And I think my screen is shared and you can see the PPT.
Yes, Doc. We have already seen it po. You can actually click the presentation so that we can see the entire screen. Thank you.
Right. Now entire screen is only PPT, right?
Yes, confirmed.
Okay. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity to present this paper entitled Poverty as a Systemic Equilibrium, an Integrated Household System Framework, IHSF, for Development Dynamics. In fact, this paper is co-authored with Ms. Abhipsa. She is a graduate student at University of Maryland, College Park, USA, and myself, Sunil, from University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Silas, Oman. I know the time constraints, so this paper will go a little fast. So persistent poverty, despite sustained policy intervention, remains a central problem in development economics. The critical question, or the key question that this paper attempts to answer, is why do households receiving credit, transfers, or training remain vulnerable, and why do institutional reforms often fail to generate durable improvements? Although global poverty has declined with growth, institutional change, and expanded social protection, the prevailing explanations remain incomplete. Standard approaches emphasize capital accumulation. Like Sach in his book End of Poverty, he said that if people had accumulated some capital, they can overcome the poverty. Same finding was noted by Amartya Sen. So, and as we know that Abhijit Banerjee, he noted that behavioral development economics, they is highlighted on scarcity-induced cognitive constraints. So there are some findings, some research, but still the situation is like that poverty prevails and households are under poverty. The question is, why are they in a very chronic poverty state? So persistent deprivation suggests that these mechanisms, when considered in isolation, this word isolation is important. So when considered in isolation, do not fully capture the dynamics sustaining poverty. In fact, that is a bigger problem related to reductionist approach of research. So the research aim for this paper is the integrated household system framework models households as a bounded decision system with psychological capacity, social capital, economic strategy, and institutional access, evolving endogenously and jointly determining the outcomes. So, four things are here. The first is psychological capacity, second is social capital, third is economic strategy, and institutional access is the fourth one. This we will integrate together and we will see how do they work uh, cumulatively. So drawing on system theory, the framework generates nonlinear dynamics characterized by multiple equilibria, threshold effects, and path dependence. The paper makes three contributions. First, it integrates poverty trap theory, behavioral economics, and capability approach within a unified dynamic framework. It formalizes the cross-domain mechanisms linking key dimensions of household decision-making. And number three, it demonstrates how coordinated interventions can shift trajectories across development regime. Uh, Let me clarify at this point that in this paper, we are not considering poverty as an individual's problem. It is a family related thing. Entire family is under poverty because they make certain decisions, they make certain strategy, they make certain, I will say, they share the social networks and capital. So it is the family that is under poverty. However, other papers or other researchers, they have mainly focused on poverty confined to an individual. That's why it is household system framework. So a family under poverty, they think differently. This paper assumes like that, and we will see how a family can come out of poverty trap. So the integrated household system model, the traditional economic models treat households as utility maximizing actor responding to prices and resource constraints. While analytically useful, this representation abstracts from the complex decision environment shaped by uncertainty, social obligations, and institutional constraints. Within the integrated household system framework, households are modeled as state-dependent information processing units embedded in socio-economic environment. So household behavior arises from the interaction of economic resources, cognitive capacity, social capital, and institutional access. These are four major domains we will cover. So household behavior is characterized by a multidimensional decision mapping in which outcomes depend on joint configuration of system components. So decision quality and resource allocation are therefore state dependent. We will go directly to the model and then we will go to the testing of this model or simulated testing, in fact. So here are the four things. Number one, psychological capacity. Number two, social capital. Number three, economic strategy. And number four, political agency. These are the four domains that they interact to each other and they have cumulative effect on the household economic status or their poverty. So what is psychological capacity? This is a cognitive capacity, or we can say a psychological motivational factor that motivates a family to take economic decisions, participate in economic activities. It relates to self-efficacy, their aspirations, their dreams, whereas social capital denotes the network and trust they maintain in the society, the norms, the reciprocity, and community participation. The social capital helps them to avail the credit from their social members, others in the community. And then economic strategy is related to their livelihood resources or the resource allocation in consumption, saving, investment, and earning related things. So these may cover the financial inclusion, human capital development, education, skill building, consumption, something like that in economic strategy. How do they earn? How do they invest? How do they consume? How do they spend their money? And then political agency. In fact, this political agency denotes the institutional access, their participation in the governance. And there are some local body political institutions in which people participate, their access to banking system, their access to education system, their access to government schemes helping poor to overcome. And in between, there is a feedback loop. At every feedback loop, people can come out of poverty or they fall in the trap. So scarcity loop is there, social norm loop is there, institutional loop is there. So this is the loop, feedback loop that helps families to overcome the poverty. However, a family works in some structural context like external constraints, labor market, infrastructure, social protection, political institution, institutional filters like governance, quality, policy access. Means this paper does not negate or deny the influence of structural contexts, the macroeconomic factors it considers, but the major focus is on four things, that is psychological capacity, social capital, economic strategy, and political. We'll go directly to within the integrated household system framework, as defined earlier, poverty is a stable system equilibrium. I will move forward because time will be less. So transition from poverty trap to development, although reinforcing dynamics can stabilize poverty, the system also permits transitions. We will see in empirical testing or simulated empirical testing that this transition does not happen automatically. It requires some prerequisites. So when constraints are sufficiently relaxed, as implied by feedback structure described above, changes in one dimension can propagate across others. This is important because it's system concept. Change in one dimension will influence other. It will have impact on other factors. So generating cumulative effect that shift the system from poverty trap to a self-reinforcing development trajectory. So this is the main line. We will cover it. In econometric modeling, though I have excluded most of the things for this presentation, but yes, a household estate is conceptualized as a determinant of determining factor of K, that is capital, Y, that is income, P, that is psychological state, or SC, social capital, E as economic strategy, and I as institutional access at a particular point of time, that is T. So KT denotes capital at a point of time T. Y denotes income at a point of time T. P denotes psychology at a point of time T. Same thing. So social capital is SC, E is economic study, and I is institutional access. At each period T, the household system evolves according to the following sequence of events. Given the state vector xt, kt, yt, pt, sct, et, it, household income yt is realized. Okay, so the household chooses consumption ct, subject to resource constraints, and saving, that is svt, is equal to yt minus ct. This will determine the capital accumulation, that is kt plus 1, means the next point of time. Scarcity pressure, sigma t, we have conceptualized some economic shocks, maybe sickness, maybe some disability caused by accidents or natural calamities. These are some scarcity pressure. They consume the capital they take out the capital accumulated by the families. So these are also taken care. And then state variables at another point of time is conceptualized. Finally, simulations are conducted to examine how variation in key parameters affect equilibrium structure and transition behavior. So phase diagrams we will see. Results indicate that multiple equilibria are sustained only within an intermediate region of the parameter space. Variations in behavioral sensitivity and productivity shift the location of the critical region and in some cases lead to globally convergent dynamics. We will see all this in graphs. So this is the model that we have simulated. Kt plus 1 is a function of kt, that is capital at a particular point of time t, is equal to 1 minus lambda kt plus s. S is saving rate, kt, a is a constant, we will see, and then k t to alpha, and omega is a behavioral efficiency, kt. This equation is simulated with these parameters. A is productivity parameter, and we have simulated the model with some values for each parameter. Alpha is capital elasticity production. Same way, all this reading will take time, but this is the first dynamic adjustment in part dependence. So what we see, this is the first graph. It shows the trajectories exhibit pronounced path dependence and economics starting from sufficiently low initial capital, like this blue line. Low initial capital converts to a low level of equilibrium, and finally they are under poverty for a sustained time. However, those who start with some significant amount of capital, like these lines, orange or saffron color, green color, and red color, they start with a significantly higher capital and they move upward. They are transiting out of poverty. So for higher initial conditions, dynamics are self-reinforcing. As KT increases, omega KT, that is behavioral efficiency, rises and enhancing the effective return to investment and accelerating accumulation. So these families, they are accumulating the wealth. It depends on the initial capital, but this is half of the story. This was already known by other previous research. The issue is here, phase diagram with multiple equilibria. Figure illustrates the phase diagram of system plotting the reduced form transition function fkt against the 45 degrees. Suppose this is a straight line. And what happens? This curve is like S-shaped. So once we start, it is possible that if we start with a lower capital initially, we will fall down in poverty trap. However, at a time, if other supports are there, maybe external support, maybe government funding, so a family can go beyond this threshold limit and they can take a trajectory, a transition to come out of the poverty. The same thing is shown here. This figure examines the impact of the behavioral sensitivity parameter beta. Higher value of beta increases the responsiveness of behavioral efficiency, that is omega kt, to change in capital, steeping the transition in intermediate region. So this happens same way. If support is significantly higher, suppose government support to poor families, it is significantly higher, the rate of coming out of poverty will be faster than smaller support, in a situation of smaller support. So this paper will conclude that if there is a government subsidy or government support to poor family below a threshold point that will not help families to come out of poverty, it should be a significantly large support from the government side. So policy and productivity shift. Again, we see a smaller policy shift may help a family to overcome the poverty for certain time, but finally they again fall down the line. This blue line, you can see that for some time they are above the critical condition, 45-degree line straight. at later phase, they are again below. So they fall under poverty again if this policy is not significantly, I will say the magnitude of policy reform is not significant. Then the figure illustrates the impact of the productivity parameter A, capturing improvements in economic environmental policy interventions, and increase in A shift the reduced form transition function FKT upward. So for simulation, we had taken some parameters. These were simulated, numbers were created by using NumPy, and Python programming was used for simulation purpose. What we see in this figure, that there is a possibility that if we give some push, say for example, red line is getting push value 3.0. This is the situation when a family can come out of poverty. But this is if the push is lesser or smaller in magnitude, as this blue and orange line is showing, they can see some improvement in their economic conditions, their state, but later on they again come down and they fall under poverty trap. So this is the final one. Push should be significantly larger. So the figure illustrates simulated capital path and policy interventions of varying magnitude. In the absence of intervention, the system converges to a low-level equilibrium consistent with a poverty trap. This orange and blue line you can see. Small interventions generate only temporary increase in capital with the trajectories reverting to low equilibrium. This is the main finding. By contrast, sufficiently large interventions push the system beyond the unstable threshold, including a transition toward a self-sustaining growth path. So if there is any support from policy or the government, it should be significant. It should be with significant magnitude. Okay, so propositions. This paper has 6 propositions. Please remind me if I am crossing my time limit. I think I have 2 minutes. So the first proposition says higher psychological capital PT increases income directly through the production function and indirectly via capital accumulation by improving planning and investment efficiency. So we saw in the beginning that psychological capacity shows the cognitive ability to diagnose the economic opportunity, to take the decision. So it enhances both productivity and the allocation of resources. P2, that is proposition 2, greater social capital improves income. What happens social capital if it is more? They provide the network, they provide credit facility, they give some confidence to the poor families to take some economic decisions. And that improves income by expanding access to information, opportunities, and institutional engagement. Third proposition says higher consumption obligations, that is CT, reduce capital accumulation by lowering effective savings. Since social capital SET increases non-driven expenditure, it may indirectly constrain accumulation. This is interesting. Poor families, sometimes they find it costly for them to maintain the social networks because maintaining social networks needs some money to connect with, to travel to them or to spend some money in social gatherings. So sometimes families, they refrain to participate in social gatherings, though it serves some purposes, provides network, provides capital, credit, etc., etc. But at the same time, it may affect their capital, available or accumulated capital. So fourth proposition that is greater institutional access, IT raises income by expanding access to public goods, finance, and opportunities, while also strengthening social capital through participation and engagement. Fifth proposition, higher income, YT, and capital KT reduce cognitive scarcity. Yes, it gives confidence, improving psychological capacity, PT, and enhancing decision making. And psychological capacity PT, social capital SCT, economic strategy ET, and institutional access IT are complementary inputs. Joint improvements yield super additive gains in income consistent with multiplicative structure of the system. So the IHSF models poverty as a dynamic outcome of interacting cognitive, social, economic, and institutional process. This provides a theoretical explanation for empirical findings where increased access to credit or asset does not generate sustained upward mobility. The framework highlights the role of complementarities in shaping policy effectiveness. In line with interaction-based approaches, the marginal impact of any single intervention depends on the configuration of other constraints. So if we focus on only one, we cannot get the desired result. So by linking household dynamics to institutional structure, the framework provides a bridge between micro-level behavior and macro-level development processes. Conclusion, this study conceptualizes poverty as a dynamic system of interacting constraints rather than a static condition of resource deprivation. Unlike conventional approaches, this isolate capital deficit, behavioral biases, or institutional failures. The integrated household system framework models poverty as a stable equilibrium generated by their interaction, shifting the focus from identifying single binding constraints to understanding how constraints co-evolve. The model demonstrates that system dynamics are governed by threshold effects, and this perspective expands a standard poverty trap model centered on capital accumulation. However, there are certain limitations with this paper. This paper is not empirically tested, only simulated model, number one. Number two, it does not cover the micro level factors, macroeconomic conditions. So these are two major limitations of this research. Future research can take up the empirical testing of these propositions and they can test it with the real data. Thank you for giving this opportunity. Only contribution of this paper is we cannot reduce poverty. We cannot overcome poverty by focusing on one dimension or one factor. It is a system in the family that affects the decisions, economic decisions, and maintains the status of the family under poverty. So we should think of a system approach. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Dr. Kumar, for that insightful and thought-provoking presentation. So your paper offers a very important systematic perspective on poverty, and it highlights how household conditions and development dynamics may interact and reinforce one another. So we believe that your proposed integrated household system framework provides a valuable lens through which researchers and, I believe, policymakers may better understand the complexity of poverty. Once again, congratulations on this meaningful contribution to the development research. So we would like
Thank
to
you very
request you,
much.
Dr. Kumar, to remain with us until the open forum, during which our participants may raise their questions and provide feedback. Thank you, Dr. Kumar.
Thank you.
So we shall now proceed to our second plenary session. So she will be presenting the paper entitled Students' Disclosure of Mental Health Concerns to a Faculty through Computer-Mediated Communication, the impact of online learning modality among selected UP Mindanao faculty and students. So this timely study examines the role of computer-mediated communication in students' disclosure of mental health concerns, particularly within the context of online learning. So ladies and gentlemen, may we welcome Professor Dr. Karen Joyce G. Kayamanda. So I'll be presenting her video presentation.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, so allow me to present your video presentation po, ma'am.
Thank you po.
Before anything else, is it audible on your end?
None yet, ma'am.
Okay, for a while.
Thank you, Apa.
How about this one? Is it
Industry and
audible?
Academic Research or ICMIAR?
Is it already audible, po? Can I ask for
Pending
confirmation?
agreement. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
okay, sige. I'll replay the video again. So here's the presentation. Let's help us welcome Professor Dr. Karen Joyce G. Kayamanda.
Pending agreement. Welcome to the 7th International Conference on Multidisciplinary Industry and Academic Research, or ICMIAR 2026. I am joining you via Zoom from Davao City, Philippines, University of the Philippines, Mindanao. I am quite honored and grateful to present to you a study conducted during the pandemic, which highlighted the challenges encountered by students and faculty alike at the height of the implementation of online classes using computer-mediated communication and its impact to disclosure of mental health concerns, the most recorded impact of digital divide in learning and instruction, specifically in the tertiary level of education. I have my research co-author, Miss Hannah Eden A. Obligar, and this is our study entitled Students' Disclosure of Mental Health Concerns to a Faculty Through Computer-Mediated Communication, the Impact of Online Learning Modality Among Selected UP Mindanao Faculty and Students. This study opens the discussion on how digital platform can replace the face-to-face transactions, or will it reinforce the change in landscape on teaching and learning, specifically on residential mode like the University of the Philippines. Now, the study is set in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, wherein schools had to migrate classes to online learning. But nowadays, we are into blended learning. So the face-to-face is combined with the asynchronous or the online teaching and learning up to this point. So in the process, during the time, schools face challenges in classes implementation, including the difficulty to communicate to students. And this study was brought forth because of the students reporting of facing difficulties related to the remote learning, as documented by Rotas and Kahapay in 2020. When we look at the prevalence of mental health concerns among students, particularly during the pandemic, one particular area that has generated awareness is the psychological impact of digital platform dependency. And it is basically transformed into the mental health concern of our students or even faculty members. And this study aimed to unravel if disclosure via computer mediated will also motivate sharing to faculty members. So, looking at the research questions of this study, the first research question looks into the privacy rules that students have and can influence them to disclose of their mental health concerns to their faculty in charge. So basically looking at the reasons for students' disclosure or non-disclosure of their mental health concern to their faculty in charge. And based on these reasons, to discover what are the decision criteria that motivate students' non-disclosure of mental health concern to a faculty. And the second research question is, how do students communicate to a faculty in computer-mediated communication, particularly direct messages? As mental health concerns are largely private concern, this study explored on how disclosure is affected when digital platform is the avenue of discussion. So they have to discover, or this study aims to explore the reasons for the students' disclosure, describe the communication privacy rules of the students based on the reasons for non-disclosure of mental health concerns, and describe the student's communication to a faculty in computer-mediated communication, specifically on direct messages. Now, this study is significant because it wants to shed light to the students' act of disclosure and help instructors ideate strategies and adjustments in approaching the needs of the students. Remembering that during the pandemic, it is our first time to be on an online, full online teaching and learning modality, because University of the Philippines Mindanao is purely a residential educational campus. Okay, so we had to transform into computer-mediated teaching and learning. It may help contribute to the body of knowledge, particularly in this specific cultural context, describing the nuances of disclosure of mental health concerns in the computer-mediated communication context, and probably contribute as a reference for academic institutions in making policies and interventions as regards on mental health of students and faculty in the tertiary level. Now, the scope and limitation of this study, this is only focused on the disclosure of students to a faculty in UP Mindanao, particularly in the context of the computer-mediated communication through direct message. So basically, it's a one-way process of disclosure. It is focused on mental health concerns only, and it used data out from retrospection from students. This study was guided by the communication privacy management theory, which explains and describes how individuals handle private information like mental health concern. It operates in three main elements: privacy ownership, privacy control, and privacy turbulence. However, the different digital platforms like email, video conference, FB Messenger, and the like allows different levels of convenience. Hence, the study explored how these platforms might discourage or even encourage students' disclosure of mental health concern to their faculty. Now, looking at the methods used for this study, the study used a qualitative exploratory research design. The sampling is basically convenient sampling, looking at 9 student participants who volunteered for this particular study. They are freshmen or sophomore who did not experience the face-to-face transactions with their faculty members, and 3 key informants, which are all faculty from UP Mindanao. Now, the data collection is through focus group discussion and key informant interviews through online platform via Zoom, because during that time it is the height of the what do you call this, the stay home mode of communication there. So there is no face to face, or there is a social distancing being implemented during that time, and classes are done in via Zoom or via computer mediated teaching and learning. Okay? The data analysis is the emergent thematic method. Now, when we look at the studying MHC disclosures of students via digital platform allows us to have an idea of the act itself, which help us discover the multiple reasons and factors that influence students' disclosure and non-disclosure, and how it interacts with each other. This study highlighted and confirmed risk-benefit ratio, motivation, and context, which are the usual factors that influence student disclosures. Now, on the findings, the study has identified these particular areas: the views on disclosure of mental health, reasons or factor of non-disclosure to a faculty, reasons or factor of disclosure to a faculty, recipient of disclosure, student-faculty relationship, type of information, platform choice in communication, and preference on mode of communication. Okay. So, in conclusion, the perceived impact of computer-mediated communication brings us to emphasize that even in the digital age, it is important to consider relationships beyond digital divide, which can control computer-mediated communication. It highlights the role of trust and credibility. Hence, it reinforces the changing landscape on digital-dependent communication. So basically, when you look at the computer-mediated communication, there is a perceived impact on these particular areas. The risk of communication, there is more time to reflect about their responses or messages. It is less embarrassing to both parties, or especially to the student who is doing the disclosure. The scene feature in Messenger makes them anxious because they know that their communication has been seen by the faculty in charge. There is communication latency because there is no filtering of the information, and less communication richness because of the limited area of the communication system. There is less further elaboration, not unless the faculty will really dig deeper into the concerns of the student. And then there is a risk of privacy breach because we don't know what happens in the in the computer mediated communication when there is a risk also of the breach in privacy. Okay, so basically, this study opens our understanding of how a computer-mediated communication may affect the disclosure of mental health concerns of a student to a faculty, and it also brings into contribution to the discussion of, at the present time, we are gearing towards AI and digitization. So what happens now in learning and instruction? Considering that there is this particular study that has an impact on the mental health of students. Okay? So thank you for listening. Again, this is Professor Karen Joyce G. Kayamanda, joining you from the University of the Philippines, Mindanao, here in Davao City, Philippines. Good day, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Kayamanda, for that relevant and meaningful presentation. Your study draws attention to the important relationships between technology, communication, mental health, and the role of faculty members in supporting our, of course, students. It also reminds us that online learning environments are not only spaces for academic instruction, but may also become important channels through which students seek understanding and support. Once again, Doc, congratulations on this timely and socially relevant research. And also, we would like to request you to please remain with us until the open forum for the questions and feedback for our participants. Congratulations, Doc. So without any further ado, we shall now proceed to our third plenary presentation. So our third presenter is Dr. Ferozi Moodley, and Dr. Moodley will present the paper entitled The Synthetic Oracle, Artificial Superintelligence as an Information Source and Generation X Consumer Behavior. Ladies and gentlemen, may we welcome Dr. Ferozi Moodley. Doc, the virtual floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jeda, for the great welcome. And Assalamualaikum, and a very good day to all the presenters for today. And of course, a big thank you, a huge thank you to the organizer. Allow me be part of this such a very prestigious conference. And then today, actually, this is not my first time be part of with this conference organized by Academic Institute Academic. I believe this is my third time, and again, even this is my third time, I'm always excited to share And in fact, I have asked the management, not the management, the committee, is it they have a possibility if I can present as a physical one, because I want to meet all the lecturer or the scholar. But it's okay, maybe not this time, but next time definitely. If they have physical setting, then I will be there. And then maybe we can discuss, for the collaboration and sharing the research from my side and also from other side. So let me allow me to share my slide. Okay. Okay. I believe everyone can see my slide, right? All
Yes,
right.
Doc.
Okay. Okay. So for today, uh, what I'm going to share to all of the audience member, to all the presenter, respected presenter for today is one of my research, which is I'm start actually to look not just AI. Currently, I believe everybody talk about AI and everybody using AI for their daily life, for their daily routine, searching for information and maybe add to do some of the tasks or maybe to verify some of the, maybe they have an issue they want to verify. Then AI is really powerful to help us, to provide us with the information that we need. And same goes to help us to do the some analytic. If we are do by ourselves, maybe it will take maybe a lot of time, maybe one day, 2 days. But with assistant with AI, maybe we can finish maybe 1 hour or maybe half an hour. But for today, I will not talk about the AI, but the basis, the foundation is still AI. But I will talk about the ASI, which is one term, one keyword that beyond the AI that we are using currently. So it called as artificial super intelligence. In other words, what the technology, what the advancement technology that we are using today about AI, then ASI will be way better. But relatively, this technology is not exist yet, or maybe already exist, but not shared to the society. And based on some of the expert, what I read, SI will knock our door soon than we are expected for. There is a lot of argument when the ASI will introduce, will share, will openly to use by the society. But the latest one I read, it may be share, it may be open to everyone, to all society around approaching almost 2030 or 2029, 2028. So in other words, in other words, currently is 2026. It means we have another 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years before the ASI is knock our door, and then in front of our, our door, and they are there. We need to use. So in other words, the thing that I share today is like the preparation before the ASI is already around us. But my approach, my context is based on my field, which is a marketing. Then we look later when ASI already there, then how we tackle or how we approach our consumer, our customer in order we can cope a very good marketing sound strategy, very good marketing strategy aligned with the existing of the ASI. So this is all about the topic that I would like to share to all of the audience member for today. So this is just this is just a very simple the trajectory, which is to start with the search engine. I believe I'm not young anymore. And then, of course, I start with search engine. And before that, 10, 20 years ago, search engine already very powerful. So sudden, recently, I believe relatively around 2018, 2019, and AI is around us. So AI also really powerful. Until today, me, myself, I still learn, about all this AI. And the next phase is ASI. artificial super intelligence. In other words, I take one just analogy from one of the scholar that I read. So AI currently, we will tell the AI platform, or will tell them this is what we need to do. But later, ASI is way better. One of the character of ASI, they can make a decision for us. That's one of the interesting character about the ASI. Okay. Okay. Currently, this is the focus for consumer behavior. Is it we focus on Gen Z or Gen X? But for this study, for this our study, we not focus about we not really focus Gen Z, because we aim the Gen X, which is the generation that younger than Gen Z. And then this Gen X, um, not the younger generation, but this Gen X, the one that have the economic, or we have the purchasing power, a good purchasing power, that they can buy the product compared to other generation or other group. Then that's why we are focused about this Gen X. But approaching the 2030, of course, they have more better purchasing power, more powerful purchasing power, because we are consider they already have advancement in their career. Then of course they have a better salary, and with the better salary, better income, then they have a more purchasing power in line with the emerging of ASI. Okay, this is the scope. I believe I already share to everyone. So for the methodology, this study is fully conceptual, which is using the narrative literature review. In other words, we cross-check lots of article already published, but some of article, of course, they're not really focused about ASI, but with the foundation still AI, then we use that finding to to discuss in line with the scope of this study. Okay, so the first one is synthetic oracle. This is the title of this research actually. So the synthetic oracle here, it's about how the individual can accept or can adopt the information, or how the individual can use effectively this all of this information, or this AI information provided by the ASI, to help them to make a good decision. Currently, of course, we have e-commerce, we have the review, we have the word of mouth, we have the influencer. But later, because the ASI is really powerful, then ASI will help us to make a decision. So the first one, this is this first finding actually. Number one is AI as an emerging information source. So the major difference is currently what we are experienced. If we want to find or want to buy some product or services, then they have lots of source of information. We can go to social media, we can go to the modern media, we can go to traditional media from your friend, or probably influencer. They have a lot of information. In other words, and then at the same point, at one point, it will make us overload of information. But for the generative AI synthesis, it's different, because this AI will help us, and then this AI will the one that share or find the good information for us. That's the first finding. The second finding, this one is like the three major scope, but the primary one we need to focus later is the prime and early adopter of synthetic oracle. In other words, the individual that category as early adoption towards this ASI capability, ASI technology. Then this is the major consumer segmentation that we need to focus. Okay, this is like chronology, what happened currently and future. So past, persuasive emotional branding, and this is what happened currently. And for the Generation X approaching the SI, we are focused about competence, verify, and algorithm trust. And currently, I believe to maybe some of you experience if you open social media, the next app you open your search engine, so sudden they will appear, they will bump the um, advertisement related what you search on the social media. So somehow it will be make us, increase. It will spark our curiosity. How about this privacy concern? So for the future, it must solve all of this problem. That's why they have the algorithm trust and verify. So in other words, all the information not just because based on our search engine, but the information is based on what we need that particular time. That's for the future. So I believe I will. Okay, I believe I will conclude. It's almost already 10 minutes. My sharing. I want to share more, but it's better for me to conclude
You already
my
have three
sharing for
minutes left,
today.
Doc.
Ah,
You already have 3 minutes left.
oh, okay, okay. Only
Thank
10
you.
minutes left. So the conclusion for my sharing for today. This research still yeah, it's still very conceptual because it's still not happened yet around us. But I believe this is a first step for us to understand for the future. So later, the finding from this research is not just can be when you apply used by the scholar, but of course for the uh, management, for the business, and of course for the government agency. With that, I end my presentation for today. And thank you very much, Dr. Our chairperson, and thank you very much to all audio members. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you very much, Dr. Madli, for that timely and again thought-provoking presentation. Your study brings together artificial intelligence, information behavior, and consumer decision making. So it encourages us to consider how emerging intelligence system may influence the ways people seek, interpret, and act upon information. Once again, Doc, congratulations. So we are now down to our last but not the least, fourth paper presenter. So our next presenter is Dr. Ganesha Acharya. Dr. Acharya will be presenting her paper entitled Managerial Practices in the Unorganized Sector, an empirical study with reference to the plant-based catering industry in the Kishna, Kannada district of Katanaka. Doc, the floor is yours. My apologies, sir. Thank you so much.
Nowadays, in the study area, this plant-based Correct. Start with the intro. I am audible now, ma'am. Sorry for the interruption. Sorry.
Yes, you are audible and you only have 6 minutes left, Doc.
Okay,
Thank
okay.
you.
I will try to cover the entire topic within the allotted time. Sorry. The unorganized sector employs over 90% of India's workforce and play a vital role in livelihood generation and entrepreneurship. The increasing health, environmental, and ethical awareness has boosted the demand for plant-based catering services throughout India. especially in Dakshina Kannada, this offers a favorable environment for this particular industry due to its food culture, diverse population, and entrepreneurial spirit. Most business operate informally and face challenges in finance, marketing, pricing, supply chain management, as well as expansion. Therefore, the study examined managerial practices and challenges to support sustainable growth and policy development side. Now, the statement of this particular topic. These businesses in the unorganized sector operate informally and face challenges in financial management, human resource management, consumer relations, and operational planning. 4 components. Limited access to credit, digitally technical technology, and managerial training restrict the sustainability and expansion of these enterprises. The study investigates managerial challenges and growth barriers affecting the sustainability of plant-based catering enterprises in the unorganized sector. This particular topic is relied on 3 fundamental objectives: to examine the current managerial practices adopted by the industry in the Dakshina Kannada district, to analyze the challenges faced, and to assess the level of managerial awareness and skills among owners or operators in this industry. Accordingly, 4 hypotheses were drawn. There is no significant relationship between managerial practices and business performance in the unorganized plant-based catering. Managerial awareness and training have no significant impact on the operational efficiency. Third one, use of digital tools does not significantly influence customer acquisition. And the last, informal business structures do not affect the long-term sustainability of this business. Among almost 70 odd reviews, 5 reviews selected here and played in my presentation. K. Pushpalata, Anurag Saho, Lisa Selvich, Farooq Hussain, and Namrata Pai are the 5 wherein major variables are taken into consideration. The methodology. The study is empirical in nature, so both primary and secondary data were used. The study adopted a descriptive and explanatory research design in Dakshina Kannada district, Karnataka, and surveyed 120 unorganized plant-based catering entrepreneurs using purposive and snowball sampling techniques. Quantitative and qualitative techniques were used for data analysis. Now the major finding. With regard to the demographic and business profile, majority of owners or managers are aged in between 46 to 60 years. 90%, 95% are male entrepreneurs. That means a male-dominating industry. 50% are graduates. 70% operate in urban areas. 65% of business have operated for more than 6 years, so that indicates sufficient experience. 75% of enterprises are registered working. Managerial practices. Strong operational management and customer relation practices. High focus on structured operational practices, waste management, customer satisfaction, and repeat business. Financial management and business planning remain moderate. HR practices are satisfactory, but skilled employee retention remains a major challenge. managerial awareness and skills. Only 40% received formal business management training. 100% are aware of marketing principles. 90% understand inventory control. 95% are aware of HR management practices. 70% report high confidence in managing their businesses. Digital adoption and innovation. 100% use digital payment systems. Same through receiving orders also. 75% use WhatsApp for business orders. 90% believe digital tools help attract customers. Only 5% use digital tool for operational management. Sustainability and local sourcing. 95% source ingredients locally. 100% believe local sourcing reduces costs. 90% use eco-friendly packing. 70% are willing to adopt more sustainable practices. Informal business challenges. 80% are aware of business registration requirements. 30% face difficulty in assessing credit. 55% believe unregistered status limits the growth. 85% plan to register their business in the future.
Excuse
Business
me, though. Your allotted presentation has already ended. May we respectfully request your concluding statement po?
Okay. So major findings under relied hypothesis. So based on the descriptive analysis, the evidence indicates a positive association between managerial practice and business performance. Managerial awareness and skill show a strong association with operational efficiency. Positive relationship between digital adoption and customer growth. Informal business structure play a sustainable role in determining long-term sustainability. All four hypotheses were rejected. Thereby, the conclusion. This particular sector is mainly operated by experienced, educated, and predominantly male entrepreneurs. Operational management and customer relations are strong, with emphasis on standard procedure-based management, customer satisfaction, and repeat business. Financial management and human resource practices are moderately effective, with the challenges in working capital management, employee retention, and formal recruitment. Most entrepreneurs rely on informal learning despite having good awareness of marketing, inventory control, and HR management. Digital adoption is high in payment and order management, but the use of advanced business management will remain limited. Sustainability practices such as local sourcing and eco-friendly packing are widely followed. Business-based challenges including competition, labor shortage, and limited asset finance. Strengthening training, financial planning, digital integration, and policy support can improve long-term growth and competitiveness. Thanks to all the listeners, and special thanks to Dr. Rodrigo, one who provided an opportunity to present my view. Thank you, madam.
All right. So thank you so much, Dr. Acharya, for that very informative and valuable presentations. So your empirical study highlights the managerial realities and practices within the unorganized sector, particularly in the plant-based catering industry. So once again, congratulations on this relevant contribution to management and industry research. So we have now heard all four plenary presentations. So let us once again congratulate our presenters for sharing their valuable research with us. So I believe that we are now going to proceed with our open forum, but due to the limited time that we have, we are only going to accommodate one question per presenters. To Dr. Kayamanda. Doc?
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay.
Okay,
Sige.
so
Let's proceed. Should I read the question, Doc? Oh, sige, I'll
okay,
just read. I'll
sige.
just read.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Dr. Kayamanda, I'm curious po, as online channels lower the friction for students to reach out, what key strategies or institutional support systems on your end can help faculty respond empathetically without experiencing secondary trauma or burnout? This is from Estreliado Carrie Justin. So that's the
Okay.
question, Doc.
So, although I have already indicated my answer in the chat, no, I'll just share it to everyone for their information, no. So during this time, of course, we have the years 2022 to 2023 as the online or remote instruction and learning mode of our students and faculty. So during this time, we have our study served as a baseline data that there are struggles and challenges being experienced by our faculty and students alike in terms of mental health concerns. So what we did is that the Office of the Student Affairs have become aggressive in pointing out or bringing into mechanisms, university mechanisms that will encourage students and faculty alike to avail of our counseling. So our counselors are there 24/7. They can be reached 24/7, and they can be consulted at times like this, because we have already discovered that the remote learning mode has a certain kind of effect on our students, no? So the online system is not perfect in itself because, as I've mentioned, UP Mindanao is a purely residential or on-site mode of teaching. So when the pandemic struck, we had to transform into a different kind of instruction, which some of our students and faculty are not really prepared in terms of the idea of the isolation of individuals, because it now becomes one-on-one in terms of the computer mediated communication. They have no direct transaction with other people. So as a whole, the University of the Philippines also implemented a policy termed as academic ease, wherein some of the rules and policies have been relaxed so that the students and the faculty can adjust to the purely online mechanism of instruction and learning. And I am proud to say that what I have shared in this conference was one of the baseline data that we used to come up with the mental health programs of our university, which is at this point, it is still existing. So we continued with that particular practice because we found it to be useful for both our faculty and students. On the part of the faculty, they have also been subjected to trainings on how to handle mental health concerns of the students when disclosed to them. So these are some of the initiatives that we have conducted in line with the challenges that we have encountered in this kind of subject matter. So thank you. I hope that answers
Okay,
your
thank you
question.
so much, Doc Kayamanda, no? And really training for the teachers is really important because not all
Yes,
teachers are
yes. We
registered
found
guidance
it to be
counselors.
a
Okay,
significant part of the training of the teachers, because
okay.
specifically compared to other teachers in other universities, no, UP, not all UP faculty are passers of what they call this, the teachers examination, the exam for the
Yes.
teachers. Not all of us are passers of that. So it has a component that talks about the psychology and how to handle student concerns. So what we did is
Okay,
we
thank you
just
so much.
made some projects that
Okay,
will
thank
address.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much po. And so that concludes the plenary paper
Yes, ma'am.
presentation session. We would like
Excuse
also
me,
to
I'm Sunil.
request, we would like to request the presenters to reply on to the questions that were raised to you, because we really had a limited time and we still have another session for this. So as much as we want to accommodate questions and answers, so let's have a comment, no, or reply on the questions that being asked to you. So thank you so much. And on behalf of the organizers of the 7th International Conference on Multidisciplinary Industry and Academic Research, I extend my sincere appreciation to our presenters, Dr. Sunil Kumar, Professor Dr. Karen Joyce Kayamanda, Dr. Ferozi Madli, Dr. Ganesha Archaya, no? Thank you for generously sharing your research findings, knowledge, and professional insights. We would also like to thank our participants for your presence and respectful engagement throughout the sessions. And I believe that today's presentation reminds us that multidisciplinary research allows us to understand complex realities from different perspectives. Research does not end with the presentation findings. Its true value is realized when knowledge leads to deeper understanding, better decisions, and meaningful actions. So before we formally end this session, I believe that our presenters are very excited to present their research outputs later for the plenary presentations. Please be guided by the following announcements regarding the parallel sessions. So at this point, all participants are requested to join their assigned Zoom breakout rooms for the parallel sessions. There are two parallel sessions. Parallel session 1 includes the education track with Dr. Nestor L. Lasala Jr. and the STEM track with Mr. Omir Saber. And parallel session 2 includes the business and management and accounting track with Ms. Suhata Balakrishna and social sciences track with Dr. Maria Aurora G. Victoriano. So your session chairs will be waiting for you in your respective breakout rooms. At the conclusion of the parallel sessions, everyone is invited to return to the main Zoom for the closing and awarding ceremony. So once again, I am Dr. Jarda Bikinyosto, your session chair and moderator. It has been my honor and privilege to facilitate this meaningful exchange of ideas. Congratulations to our presenters and thank you very much. You may now proceed to your assigned Zoom breakout rooms. God bless you all.